Thank God it's Friday, the 21st of November. DJ Genius with those mixes. We'll get a little bit more from you in the next hour. But let's quickly get into our press review now. And let's begin off with the Standard newspaper. The headline today, MPs reject Uhuru's 1 trillion shillings roads cash plan. So they say doubling Kenya's borrowing to finance infrastructure is too much, as the state's auditor warns it will mortgage the country for 50 years. So the President Kenyatta's spending plans hit a snag after MPs and the Auditor General rejected a proposal to raise the borrowing ceiling to 2.2 trillion shillings. And read more about this report on page 2 of the Standard today. The front page picture, Kajwang's family to reveal what triggered Senator's heart attack. And you also have there the President is received by former Prime Minister Odinga, Otieno Kajwang's widow Rose Kajwang and his brother TJ looking on as well. The late Senator's Runda home in Nairobi yesterday. That's the picture that's making headlines across all the dailies this morning. So the post-mortem examination was conducted yesterday, and the final results, at least it's agreed that it was a heart attack, but it is what triggered the heart attack, or cardiac arrest if you like, that will be announced this afternoon. Details of that. So there was those who are present for the autopsy as it was conducted were the family pathologist, Professor Emily Rogena, the government pathologist, Johansson Odor, his brother TJ, a family lawyer, the family lawyer, Senator James Orengo, Nithi MP, amongst others. So after they came out to announce that, it was a heart attack that had caused his death, there were rowdy youth who were there who demanded that they say what triggered it. But of course, the pathologist maintaining that more examinations needed to be done, and that by this afternoon then it will be clear and that announcement will be made. Also there on the front page, Kidero team gets the thumbs up for renovating once filthy city market. Read about that on page 19 of the day of the Standard newspaper. Page 3, exam fees waiver to start next year. So Ministry of Education will meet the charges for all KCP and KCSE candidates in public schools. That's what the Kenya National Examination Council has said. So that's welcome news for candidates and parents indeed. A statement from the council says only private candidates and those from schools that do not receive free education capitation will foot examination fees. So good news there. Also drama as MPs ambush Treasury CS over 3.4 billion shillings. Drama unfolded yesterday when 20 MPs stormed a meeting of the Finance Planning and Trade Committee in Nairobi's Continental House, took over the agenda and sought to know why 3.4 billion shillings earmarked for marginalized constituencies had not been disbursed. Go to other mosques. Police advise those affected by the Mombasa closures. Remember, so far, 4 mosques have been closed in Mombasa. This after police claim to have recovered some grenades and all manner of assorted weaponry. So police yesterday told Muslims affected by the closing of 4 mosques at the coast to look for alternative places of worship. Police insisted no one would be allowed into Musa, Sakina, Swafar and Mina mosques until investigations were completed and worshippers selected new committees and imams to manage new mosques. Also on terror news, Kenya 12th most hard-hit state. Kenya has been ranked number 12 out of 124 countries that suffer the greatest impact of terrorism in the world. On page 7, witness is saying, I quit ICC case over delayed pay. He says he agreed to negotiate a buyout after court officers delayed remittance of his allowances, because usually they'll get into this deal that they're supposed to get some money out of in exchange for their testimony. So a prosecution witness yesterday claimed frustrations by officials of the ICC forced him to enter into negotiations with other people over how to recant his evidence against Deputy President Ruto and Sang. Witness 26 said he agreed to negotiate a buyout after ICC officers delayed the remittance of his allowances. The witness told the trial chamber 5A he encountered misunderstandings with ICC officials at a location outside Kenya where he had been taken for protection. So this, of course, raises concern about, are these witnesses, some of them for hire, that, if we disagree over costs, then somebody else can come and say, okay, if you testify on my behalf or recant this statement, I'll give you this amount of money. Just some of those issues that would arise from such a situation. Fever pitch, finally, the back page. Top cream of the lot, Sofapaka's Ndolo double winner during KPL Awards Gala Nights, and they look good there, the gentlemen, with their trophies. So Sofapaka midfielder Anthony Ekaliani Ndolo became the second player in the history of Kenyan Premier League awards when he was named Player and Midfielder of the Year on Wednesday night. Let's cross to the Daily Nation. And it's all about the chicken. In the headline, revealed the young fixer behind the chicken deals. There's a picture of him here. So you have eating out of his hand. Christopher Smith, that's the chairman of Printers Smith and Usman, is in court charged with bribing African officials, among them Kenyan election and exams bosses, to get lucrative printing tenders. James Oswago painted in court papers as one of Oyombra's big chicken customers. Oswago suggests the broker made up the chicken story to fleece employees or other employers. So described by Oswago as a very young man, boy, Oyombra, a smooth talker who presented himself as deeply religious, had millions paid into his KCB account. And the story is on page 4. So that's a picture of Oyombra right there. And there's a read the full chicken dossier inside the Daily Nation, pages 24, 25. Well-written and damning British court brief captures on drama, the drama, greed, and sometimes humor of a Kenyan corruption saga. So more of those details in the Daily Nation today. There's also a hard tackle. It's mentioned on the front page, a book that's out. The Nation is serializing it. Hard Tackle, The Life of Uhuru Kenyatta. So get more details of what that book will be about inside. Also, I'll invite Obama to Kenya. Mama Sarah Obama is in the United States. She's in the U.S., says she'll ask the president to visit, that she'll personally be meeting him. That's on page 3. Also, governor's referendum push is still on. Ruto dismisses reports that he has abandoned campaign for increased funding. Of course, he hasn't. It will be remembered that he suffered a family tragedy when he lost his daughter. So, of course, some time to grieve and mourn, and now back to work. And he maintains that the push for more funds to the counties is still on. Back page, judge lays law on speed governors. Court quashes requirement that PSVs and commercial vehicles to be fitted with specific brands of the gadgets. Finally, the Star newspaper, ODM to force by-elections for rebel MPs is the headline story. The party targets Obura, Dalmas, Chidzuga, and Arama. And also on the front page, how the CID helped UK to probe the chicken story. Girls' parents face arrest over FGM is also what you can read about in the Star today. Surgery shattered students' ambition from the courtroom. Some of the details there. But ODM is planning to force by-elections in 4 constituencies after kicking Samuel Arama, who's Nakuru Town West Member of Parliament, Ken Obura, Zainab Chidzuga, and Dalmas Otieno. The party now wants its branches in those areas to pass resolutions recommending their removal. So the resolutions will then be passed to the National Executive Committee, which will discuss the MPs and give them a chance to defend themselves. If unsatisfied with their defense, the NEC will recommend the expulsion, which will be ratified by the National Governing Council. So those are some of the stories covered for you in the local dailies today. Grab yourself a copy of your favorite. It is now 7:01 a.m. We take a short break and return with more.